Hi guys, my name is AJ.
My name is Andrea,
And I'm Matt.
and today we will be talking about flexibility and its effects on sports injury and performance.
What is flexibility?
Well, flexibility is the ability of the skeletal muscle or tendon to lengthen. There are two types of flexibility we're doing today. One is dynamic and static. Matt here will be demonstrating us dynamic stretching. Here he is stretching his legs, both left and right. Next, he's gonna go on the floor. Here he is demonstrating static stretching, where you're just holding it for at least 30 seconds per muscle. And that's the two types of stretching we have. What do you think flexibility is?
Why don't we go ahead and check what Matt's doing? I
You're
think
right.
he's stretching.
I think he's over here, actually.
What are you up to, Matt?
Oh, just doing my static stretches.
So this is static stretching. With static stretches, you want to go ahead and hold the stretch for approximately 30 seconds just to get a full stretch. Once you do dynamic stretching, you want to create movements that are going to mirror whatever activity you're going to be doing. So if you're going to be playing soccer, you can do movements such as butt kicks, karaoke, high knees, since that's the type of movement you will be doing during the activity.
Oh, that makes sense now. The importance of flexibility. Static flexibility measures chronic increase of range of motion for the muscles, which is very important when you're exercising. Passive stretching can also induce an identical increase in muscular tension as muscle contractions occur.
So now we will move on to talking about flexibility and its effects on sports injury.
Flexibility plays a role in strains, sprains, and overuse injuries.
Flexibility plays a role in strains, sprains, and overuse injuries.
Well, that was an example of an overuse injuries common in pitchers who play baseball.
So now we will be talking about examples of sports injuries due to lack of flexibility. Knee ligament injuries are very common in U.S. football players.
Hamstring strain is more common in college track and field athletes. This is because of lack of hip flexion.
And lastly, lateral hip and knee pain are common in ballerinas because they have smaller range of motion in their hip adduction. Did you ever experience this, Miss Arbel?
Did you?
Okay, that's good. Hey, what did I tell you about stretching before running? This is why you're down there, because your muscles are tight. This is why you gotta stretch before an exercise, or else you'll turn out like Matt.
This is why I should have stretched.
Stretching prevents injury, but there's still no clear relationship between flexibility and hamstring injury, for example, according to Blame and McCall. So now let's talk about flexibility and its effects on sports performance.
Increased flexibility in ankles and shoulders leads to better performance in swimming. Flexibility also decreases active muscle stiffness and improves the SSC, or the stretch shortening cycle performance.
Stretching combined with warm-up strength and balance training seems to prevent ankle and knee injuries. The next slides will focus on findings from different articles.
So now we're going to be talking about the findings we found from the articles. First off, dynamic measures of flexibility are less dependent on patient discomfort and are more objective. This is according to Glam and McHugh. According to them, there is also no scientific prescription for which best flexibility training suits a person. There are also no conclusive statements that can be made about the relationship between flexibility and injuries in sports. Lastly, active warm-up may be protective against muscle strain injuries, but clinical research is equivalent on this point, according to Glam and McHugh. The next findings I'm going to be talking about are from Oplert and Babalt. What they found is that stretching is used in activities to increase range of motion. This increase of range of motion enhances muscle force and power during activities, which obviously helps in sports activities. Muscular performance can be improved after a single bout of dynamic stretching. In other words, dynamic stretching is the best way to prepare during a warm-up, because stretching helps the warm-up process by increasing your heart rate, increasing your core and muscle temperatures to get you warmed up. Lastly, the effects of flexibility from stretching are amplified if stretches are performed while walking, such as dynamic stretching, or what I'm doing now, walking around while I talk to you.
Applying a sequence of stretches to a relaxed muscle can influence critical loss of strength after the stretching has been completed, according to McHugh and Cosgrave. Stretch-induced strength loss is dependent on the stretching technique that is being applied, the contraction type used for measuring strength loss, and the muscle length at which strength is measured, according to McHugh and Cosgrave. Sports such as long distance requires less range of motion in the major joints of propulsion compared with other activities such as ballet, dance, or gymnastics, according to McHugh and Cosgrave. There are several methods of stretching aimed at improving flexibility, like passive, static, isometric, ballistic, and proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, also known as PNF, according to Gremian. Static stretching is the easiest and the most frequently used method. Stretching causes an increase in the muscular tension, which involves an interruption of blood circulation. Stretching aids in the prevention of delayed onset muscle soreness, also known as DOMS, according to Gremian.
One of the articles I looked at was called Warming Up and Stretching for Improved Physical Performance and Prevention of Sports-Related Injuries by Bill Prentice and Frank Shella. They talked about improving flexibility through stretching is another important pre-preparatory activity that has been advocated to improve physical performance. Maintaining good flexibility also aids in the prevention of injuries to the musculoskeletal system. Most athletes incorporate some form of low-intensity physical activity into their training routines before participating in more strenuous exercise. This pre-preparatory workout is designed to improve physical performance and to prevent sports-related injuries. The ability to move a joint smoothly through a full range of motion is certainly essential to overall healthy living. Another article I found called A Comparison of the Immediate Effects of Eccentric Training and Static Stretch on Hamstring Flexibility in High School and College Athletes by Russell Nelson. He talked about reduced injury risk, pain relief, and improved athletic performance are reasons provided for incorporating flexibility training into a training program. He also talked about the dynamic nature of the activity. In theory, would cause a warming effect in the muscle, and muscle would be more pliable and accommodating to stretch, leading to an increase in flexibility of the muscles. And lastly, he talked about eccentrically training a muscle through a full range of motion theoretically could reduce injury rates and improve athletic performance and flexibility.